Hi everyone, and welcome back to another life lesson from the Life of a Life Coach. I'm Sarah Brill and I am a transformative and financial coach, and I help people get unstuck and help them achieve their life goals. Now, today I wanted to talk about fears. I do have my notebook, the best is yet to come, in front of me. I made some notes around fears, and sometimes we take on a new challenge in life and it can create a sense of fear. And let's talk a little bit about fear. Where does it come from? Why does it originate? And why sometimes do we feel the fear? And I think sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to try and find all the answers, and sometimes it's a financial fear. That is one of the most common fears that I see, like not having enough money to maintain your current lifestyle. The other fear is the fear of being judged. So sometimes we experience fear because we don't want to put ourselves out there. We don't want to be judged by other people and know whether they like us or not, right? So fear of not having enough money, fear of judgment, and there's also a fear of just lack. So having a lack of something in life. So for example, something that comes up a lot in coaching conversations that I have is often with people who are single. So the fear of being alone forever, or the fear of just being alone or being left alone with yourself and your own thoughts. Like, some people find that very, very scary. And something that I use in my own life that I find helpful is to think about other evidence to support or disprove the beliefs that are running through my mind. So what happens is we have a fear. Let's take an example of the fear of being judged. And what that can do is, let's say you're wanting to start a business, or you're wanting to go for a career transition and you're looking for a new job, something along those lines. And perhaps you're fearing, rejection, not getting the job that you desire, or not signing up clients that you want to be signing up, or not selling enough products. And so that fear prevents you from taking action in the first place. And the trouble with that is we never get started. So we sit and we procrastinate, and the fear manifests itself, and we become demotivated because we think, well, even if I do something, even if I do put myself out there, whether it is going to a networking event or doing a YouTube video, that fear of being judged is going to be worse than if I take action and actually go for what I want to achieve. And when I spoke about creating evidence, what happens is we create stories in our own mind. So if I go for this job, I'm not going to be good enough, or I believe I don't have what it takes to start my own business. So whatever story you're telling yourself right now, you need to cut that out. And we want to reframe that. We want to reframe it into a thought that's going to serve us, and just be kinder to ourselves. Imagine that you are your own best friend, because sometimes we forget that the voices in our head, we have to live with those all the time. And we forget that our relationship with ourselves is just as important, if not more important, than the relationship we have with other people. And if you're speaking to yourself in these ways that are negative or have negative thought processes, other people are going to notice those too. And it's very easily noticeable because you can tell the way that people speak about themselves, whether they are feeling motivated or demotivated. So observing what fears you have, first of all, is important. And if you want, you can write these down. What stories you're telling yourself, and what beliefs you have around those. So maybe the belief in this case would be, everyone I speak to is doing a job that they don't enjoy, or everyone that I speak to fails in business for the first couple of months. There might be genuine beliefs that you're hearing from your echo chamber that exists around you, from the people that you surround yourself with. And what we want to start doing is start reframing that and look for evidence outside of your sphere, outside of your echo chamber. Because what happens is we tend to seek out validation for our beliefs. So if we think, well, I'm going to be failing in business, I'm not going to be getting that job, we tend to lean on other people or look for other people to support that evidence. They will agree with what we're saying and they will say, yeah, I know how you're feeling, because when I started off in business, I experienced X, or when I went for this job, I had to fail and I had to get 12 no's before I got a yes. So what our mind does is we look for supporting stories to validate our narrative. Whoa, the screen's just changed colour. So what we want to be doing is we want to start looking for alternative forms of evidence. And that might mean putting yourself out there in another form of community, finding yourself a new tribe, finding a new supportive network who can challenge some of those beliefs. And what coaching can do is reframe some of those beliefs and help you seek out new evidence to support your new stories that you're trying to tell yourself. So a new story might be, I am worthy, and when the right job comes, I will be ready for it. Or there are plenty of people in the world that make success from a newly launched business within the first couple of months. So it's all about looking at the situation that we're in and trying to reframe it and create new narratives for ourselves that support us, because ultimately fear is false evidence appearing real. So that was an acronym, false evidence appearing real. So just remind yourselves that whenever you're experiencing this fear, it can sometimes just be in our own heads, and it's helpful to get out of our own heads and have new conversations with new people that are going to challenge the way that we are thinking in a nice way, right? You don't want to be surrounding yourselves with people who are just going to tell you, to just get on with it, because the reality is sometimes when we're feeling really stuck, we can't unstuck ourselves. We need someone else who's going to support us in that journey. So have a little think about what fears you're experiencing right now. I've given examples today about starting a business, the fear of being single, the fear of being judged, but really it could be a fear about anything that you're experiencing in life. It could be a fear of going traveling solo. It could be a fear of experiencing something new for the first time, which you've never done before. So have a think about what those fears are for you. If they are financial, put a number on it. Put a number on what the fear is specifically, and get really specific about it, right? There's no use just saying, well, I'm really scared about being judged. Judged about who? Judged about what? Where does this happen? When does it happen for you? And start to write those thoughts down, and then challenge them and write maybe a second column about ways that you can reframe those and seek new evidence. So if you are feeling stuck, I hope this has been helpful as a first step and a tool that you can use to start feeling unstuck in your own lives. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.